I want to bring in our good friend, NBC News legal analyst, Misty Marris. Misty, you've seen it all. We've seen it all in this case. A sad and scary trial, right? We see the defendant take the stand in his own defense. What does that tell us?
So it's such a rare thing, Tom, in a criminal case to take the stand. But in this case, he's asserting self-defense. So when we usually say the defendant doesn't need to say a word, the prosecutors have the burden of proof, in a self-defense case, the defendant actually has to raise some credible evidence that there was a threat and that they responded reasonably and proportionately to that threat. So whether or not the jury will be sold on that theory, I have my doubts. But in order to establish that, the only person who's going to be able to talk about it is Gerhardt Konig himself.
He was on the stand for a bit. What did you think? You watched this and you watched the cross-examination. I mean, how did he do?
Yeah, I watched it. I would say it was pretty disastrous. Even his direct examination, it was very contrived, Tom. At least that's the way it was coming off. He was telling a story.
Like when he does stuff like this, you're saying it doesn't feel real, that he was really getting emotional?
It didn't feel real to me. You know, we're not in the courtroom. We're watching it on TV. The jury can really feel these emotions, feel when they're palpable. And this, to me, did not play as being something that was coming off as genuine, especially when we've seen other witnesses, like his son, a pivotal witness in this case, take the stand and come off with so much credibility.
Well, I was going to ask you about the son, right? His own son, his own blood, basically testifying like, Dad, you're not telling the truth here. Here's what you told me.
Right. Here's what you told me. He FaceTimed his son 2 times and actually, according to the son, said, I tried to kill Ari, and now I'm going to jump. I got to get away from the police. All of these things that he's trying to refute in his testimony by saying what was windy, maybe he misheard me. Tom, there's a couple things in this case that I think make it really difficult for Konig to get over, and we're seeing that the explanations in his testimony are just not lining up. For instance, there's an 8-hour manhunt for him after. The physicality that he describes in the self-defense act against his wife just really doesn't make sense when it lines up to the other evidence, including the forensic evidence.
Comparing the two, the wife and the husband's testimonies, did the wife sort of blow away everyone? She sounded real. You believed her. I mean, you see the video of her wrapped with the gauze and bleeding everywhere. Yeah,
so the wife's testimony definitely came off more genuine and really was more in line with some of the other evidence in the case, which is really what you're looking for, right? Consistency with that evidence in addition to assessing the credibility. But, you know, I think from the defense perspective, that 8 hours that he spends on the run, you know, he admits to hitting his wife 2 times with a rock. Keep in mind what the defense plan is here. They either want to show self-defense, and that would be an acquittal if the jury believes that this was a reasonable response, hitting his wife 2 times with a rock, or they want to say he did not have the intent to kill. This is an attempted murder case. Instead, it was an assault, and that's really the defense strategy here, looking for mitigation, probably unlikely to have an acquittal.
Explain something to me, because we've been watching this day to day, but I think there's still a hole here. His defense is that she was cheating on him, and then she attacked him first while they're on this hike.
Correct. She's cheating on him. They talk about it. He says, I'm leaving you, and I'm telling everybody you're cheating. She tries to push him off a cliff. He turns around. She pulls him on top of her, and then he, struggling, hits her 2 times with a rock, which is seen by the other hikers, conveniently lining up. He's mid-blow when the hikers see him, so he can't say he never hit her.
And how did that story sound on the stand?
It did not sound good to me, Tom. I got to tell you, I was cringing during the testimony, although I understand why the defense had to do it.
Yeah, and again, a terrible crime. We'll see what the jury thinks. Thanks so much, Misty. Good to see you here.